Comrade SG, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, allow me to depart from protocol and allow you to render the political obituary on behalf of all of us. But please permit me to take an extraordinary step of not speaking about the person that is lying in front of us. Allow me to depart from protocol, that instead of speaking about Andile Mngwevu, let me speak about this soldier. For almost 11 days, going towards the 12th day, we were in the dark, we were weak, we were confused. But it's these 5 defining days that made it possible for us to be here to bid farewell to Comrade Andile. Comrade SG, in these 5 days, there was this brave young man. The first day, together with the leadership of Ekurhuleni and leadership of government, we visited all the 4 families. When we arrived at the family of Comrade Andile, it was tough. It was difficult to lock our eyes both with the wife of Comrade Andile and his parents. It was the most painful moment we as leadership, we had to execute. But that was day 1 of briefing all families. Day 2, Comrade SG, I was shocked and surprised to get a call from this brave young man to say, Uncle Panyaza, Premier, I'm here where we are told we must not come. I've come to fetch my brother. I said to him, young man, you are risking. We're told by our diplomatic channels, we're told by the disaster team that the entire area where the last car was observed is filled with water. He indeed confirmed that this area is filled with water. We don't know where to start to look for Comrade Andile. So I asked him, with the bridges collapsing, roads closed, how possible it was that the day before you were with us at the family house, the next day you are in Mozambique, where waters have surrounded the entire community. I remember his response vividly. He said, I hired a helicopter for my brother, and I'm not going to leave here until I take the body of my brother back home. On day 3, he called me after I've advised him to leave the area because it was too dark. On day 3, he broke the news. The news that today makes it difficult for us to appreciate. He said, sadly, we found the car. We are not sure whether the bodies are still inside the car, but please do everything possible so that we can retrieve the car. We immediately communicated with the Minister of Defense. We communicated with the government of Mozambique. We also communicated through the diplomatic channels. to get support so that we can pull the car outside from the waters of Mozambique. We were indeed called to the war room to be briefed how difficult it is to use a chopper to pull a car with water, as it may compromise those that have been assigned to pull this car out. We are advised to wait until the water has gone down. Divers. With few divers in Mozambique, we also tried the option of getting divers from Ekurhuleni to be flown to Mozambique to go and assist us to retrieve these bodies. Once again, the government of Mozambique came to our rescue and have been retrieved. At 5:30, the remaining bodies and brought to earth. I asked him to not leave, because for him to leave that area, he will need to connect with people that can take him to a safe land. He accepted the offer, but with clear instruction. I will only leave with the helicopter that carries the body of my brother. I will not live outside that helicopter. I said to him, this is a military helicopter. There are protocols that allows us to have ordinary citizens. Before I can respond, the pilot said, this young man forced himself in the helicopter, and we are now taking the bodies back to the mortuary. Fourth day, we had no choice but to go and break the news to the families. We visited all the 4 families and assured them that we'll provide support to all of them, regardless whether they were members of the African National Congress or not. The mere fact that they were with Comrade Andile will demonstrate our love and care to all the families, and we are proud. As the leadership of the ANC, we gave support to all families, regardless whether they were members of the African National Congress or not. Even those families that said they could not bury, we carried the responsibilities to bury them, and they were buried with due respect. After visiting families on day 5, on day 4, Day 5, together with the leadership of this municipality, led by the executive mayor, we took a painful decision to say, these families must not hear from us alone. We must take these families back to Mozambique. Let the bodies be identified by the families, not by us, so that these families may have a final closure. Executive Mayor Kagaza, thank you so much. You led the charge. Joined by all these families, we went on day 5 to go and identify these families. So comrades, we are here because there is another short man, brave when bravery was requested. He stood firm in darkness. No lights, only sounds of birds and the sweltering waters that carried the body of his brother. In those difficult moments, he never retreated. In those difficult moments, he remained committed. We thought bravery is in politics. This young man rewrote the script that bravery can be inside the family. To the family, we are here, all of us, not because we did something, because this young man named Cde Mngwevu did the extraordinary for his brother. To you, Linda, To you, Linda, if it was not your bravery, these bones will not be here. To you, Linda, if it was not your determination, all other families would have not buried their family members. We are, on behalf of the African National Congress, our alliance structures, our leagues, on behalf of this community, remain brave young men. To Comrade Andile, indeed, it hurts us, it pains us, but I'm leaving this tribute to our Secretary General, Comrade Cde Mngwevu, to take us through this painful journey. But Comrade Hani Beja, good night, my friend. Good night, good night. Your death was painful, but knowing you was exciting. Lala ngoxolo, xawe lamaxawe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier. The SG of the African National Congress, Comrade Cde Mngwevu, will request the leaders of the PTT or REC to also please do the guard of honor whilst the SG is speaking.
Amandla, Amandla, long live the undying spirit of Comrade Andile, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Andile, long live. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Long live the ANC Youth League, long live. Watinta bafazi, watinti mpokoto. Long live Umkhonto wesizwe, military veterans, long live. Amandla. Thank you very much, comrades. Comrade Andile, we are very sad to be here, to come and bury you. We are sad because we had plans. You were very much a central nucleus of the plans of the ANC to win back power in this country. And I want to say to you on behalf of the National Executive Committee and members of the African National Congress, we are indeed sad to come and bury a young man whose future was bright in our ranks, whom we defined as very much part of a nucleus that is going to ensure that ANC, not only here in Ekurhuleni, but throughout the country, come back decisively in the next coming elections and beyond. To the family of Andile, umama ka Andile, and the father, the wife, and the children, Mngwevu and the Kanye family, akuhlanga lungehlanga, condolences to you. Ministers and deputy ministers present here, members of the ANC National Executive Committee, Gauteng co-convener and premier of the Gauteng province, Comrade Panyaza Lusufi, Gauteng deputy coordinator, Comrade Nomantu Ralihuko Nkomo, and all members of the provincial task team present here today, members of the Gauteng Executive Council, MECs present here, Regional Chairperson and Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Comrade Nkosi Ndiphile Xhakaza, Regional Secretary of Ekurhuleni, Comrade Jongizizwe Dlabati, and all members of the Regional Executive Committee present here. The President of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Colin Malachi, and the entire leadership of the Youth League present here. Comrades, members of the Ekurhuleni Mayoral Committee and Ekurhuleni officials, Chaplain Samson Lusufi, nabafundisi abakhoyo apha namhlanje ngeenkonzo ngokwahlukahlukana, oBishop nePastor ezikhoyo apha namhlanje, igama likaNkulunkulu malibongwe, nabantu bakaThixo, irhamente nenkonzo yonke ekhoyo apha namhlanje. Comrades, maqabane, and friends, we are here to pay our final respects to a humble soul whose life is the epitome of the values our glorious movement espouses. We are here to honor a servant of the people whose life was defined by discipline, courage, and deep commitment to making a better life for our people a lived reality. Andile was disciplined in all respects. We extend our deepest condolences to the Mngwevu family and the Springs community that molded his resolve and shaped his conviction. We meet in a moment of grief felt far beyond our borders. Throughout southern Mozambique, especially in the province of Gaza and the district of Chokwe, rivers became roads and households became islands. It was in those treacherous waters that our brother, colleague, and comrade was taken from us. We mourn not only Andile, but all those who traveled with him. We mourn with families whose lives have been upended by the floods, and we offer our gratitude to the Mozambican authorities, to South African search and rescue teams, and to every volunteer who braved danger so that loved ones could be brought home in the face of disaster. Their courage rekindled our faith in the solidarity that binds us as a region and as a people. As the Premier and the co-convener of Gauteng, Comrade Panyaza, have done to pay tribute to Comrade Andile's brother, we too echo the same sentiment. Comrade Andile's calling revealed itself early, comrades. As a learner at Kenneth Masikela Secondary School in KwaThema, he joined COSAS at the age when many are still discovering their voice. Andile, together with Colin Malachi, were responsible for the reawakening of Congress of South African Students. Comrade Andile worked with Mpe as the chair, Colin Malachi as the deputy, and him as the engine, of the African National Congress Youth League here in this region of Ekurhuleni. He did more than join the organized, studied, debated, taught, and uplifted. Through discipline and devotion, he rose at the regional, provincial, and national levels, ultimately serving as national organizer of causes. Those who worked with him remember a young organizer who understood that leadership begins with listening. One who believed that showing up on time and prepared is a political act in itself. From the student movement, he moved naturally into the ranks of the ANC Youth League. There too, he built patiently, serving as regional secretary. He defended the aspirations of the young not through slogans, but through programs. Comrade Andile was grounded in the organizational traditions that sustained our struggle and continue to sustain our democracy. He was a comrade known for being loyal without being uncritical, principled without being rigid, and courageous enough to defend what the movement stands for, even when it was difficult. There are many who will describe him simply and accurately as brave and fearless. A leader who understood that the true test of conviction arrives not when we are cheered and get accolades, but when we are challenged. Public service was not a line on Andile's CV. It was part of his life. He served in the Gauteng Departments of Education and Health, gaining first-hand knowledge of how policy translates into classrooms, clinics, and homes. Later, he was deployed to the city of Ekurhuleni as a strategic advisor and public representative, where he put to work his organizer's eye for detail and his organizer's heart for people. He was entrusted with the portfolio of member of the Mayoral Committee for Roads and Transport Planning, and he served as a leader of government business in council. These are not, comrades, ceremonial positions. They demand planning, coordination, and unrelenting attention to the mundane facts that define dignity for ordinary people. A road free of potholes, with a drainage system that drains properly in the summer rains, a bus that arrives on time, a bridge that holds under the pressure of relentless storms. At the time of his passing, he also served as part of the ANC regional leadership, engaged in the disciplined organizational work that allows public commitments to become public outcomes. In every role he was entrusted with, he insisted that delivery is the language of respect. He paid beyond the corridors of government. He remained one with the community, present in schools, churches, and civic organizations, always seeking practical ways to lift young people. He believed deeply in the power of sport to create belonging and discipline. He helped establish and support local football teams. The loss we feel, comrades, is set against a wider humanitarian crisis. The floods that have devastated communities across southern Mozambique are among the worst in recent years. In Chokwe, where rivers overran their banks and roads vanished beneath fast-moving waters, our comrades' journey ended. We honor all who were lost in that tragedy, and we express our condolences to their families. We also record our profound gratitude to the brave women and men, rescue teams, health workers, public officials, and volunteers who worked in perilous conditions to locate the missing and bring them home. Our grief, comrades, is heavy, but it is shared, and in that sharing, we find strength. When disaster visits any part of our region, the bonds of solidarity are tested. And as we have seen, they hold. We will carry that spirit forward as we support relief and rebuilding efforts for the communities still grappling with displacement and loss. From Comrade Andile, we learned that courage is often quiet. It is the courage to defend principle in a meeting when it is unpopular, to work through the night to fix a problem that no one will ever applaud you for solving, to tell the truth even when it costs you. We learned that integrity, comrades, is not the absence of mistakes. It is the presence of accountability. We learned that leadership is not domination, it is service. Comrade Andile was the embodiment of a cadre that will turn the tide of our electoral fortunes in the forthcoming local government elections. The councillors that we put forward for this election must be men and women of integrity who understand that their duty is to the communities they serve. As we prepare ourselves for the local government elections, we must put our best foot forward and ensure that our local government, public representatives, truly represent the commitment of the ANC to improve the lives of our people and ensure service delivery reaches every household. The local government action plan launched by the President during the councillors' roll call at FNB Stadium last year was a firm commitment to turn around our service delivery track record at local government level and reclaim the trust deficit with the electorate. This moment, comrades, takes place against the backdrop of dramatic shifts in the geopolitics. The recent events of the United States military adventurism into the sovereign territory of Venezuela and the abduction of the head of state and his wife from his own country have duly received condemnation from a widespread spectrum of nations across the world, even amongst many Western countries. This is because this is a direct affront to the UN Charter and an assault on a sovereign nation at a time when the majority of the progressive global community is looking for stability and the advancement of multilateral order. The establishment of the so-called Board of Peace, which seeks to displace the United Nations as a legitimate body with a global mandate for world peace, represents another worrying development of the rise of modern imperialism that propagates unchecked powers for a single superpower determined to impose its will on the rest of the world. The ANC stands firm, comrades, that international law must be respected by all states without exception. The principles of sovereign equality, non-interference, and peace resolution of disputes are the bedrock of a just international order. Their selective application erodes trust, fuels instability, and disproportionately harms developing countries and oppressed people across the globe. That is why, in Andile's name, on the 21st of March, we will gather and in one voice mobilize South Africans across all walks of life and say one thing and one thing only: we shall not be bullied as South Africa, and the ANC will lead that struggle. We will defend our sovereignty as a country, In the wake of the illegal Venezuela military incursion, the Trump administration invoked the Monroe Doctrine, a 19th century relic of American foreign policy. By invoking the Monroe Doctrine, the US has abandoned all pretenses about its imperialist ambitions that see the Western Hemisphere as its backyard and scant regard for the sovereignty of other nations. History has unmasked the Monroe Doctrine as the antithesis of democracy and a weapon to force sovereign nations to do Washington's bidding. Comrade Andile reminded us that transformation is not a slogan. Transformation is translating budgets into buses that run, into stormwater systems that drain, into pavements that are safe for children and the elderly. Transformation is a tender awarded fairly, a culvert maintained before the rains arrive, a pothole repaired when promised, a pedestrian crossing painted where a child must cross. It is the consistent, cumulative honesty of a capable state that works. The truest tribute, comrades, is not a speech, but a plan faithfully executed. In the spaces where Comrade Andile labored, let us recommit to the tasks he held dear. Let us build a public ethic that resists both cynicism and complacency. Cynicism says nothing changes. Complacency says change can wait. Comrade Andile rejected both. He believed change is possible and necessary, and that it is produced by the daily labor of honest people who keep their promises. Comrade Mahlatini, and the comrades who are singing, should we wait for you? Comrades, order. We are in a funeral here. Comrades, order. Mayihlale phansi ibambe umthetho. Ayihlale phansi ibambe umthetho. Thank you very much for your compliance, comrades. Comrades, I was saying, let us build a public ethic that resists both cynicism and complacency. Cynicism says nothing changes. Complacency says change can wait. Comrade Andile rejected both. He believed change is possible and necessary, and that it is produced by the daily labor of honest people who keep their promises. In conclusion, comrades, let us recommit to dignity in our politics. There will always be disagreements about policy and priority. But if we can carry into those disagreements the discipline he embodied, the habit of reading, preparing, listening, the respect for process, the focus on outcomes that make life better, then our politics can be worthy of the people we serve. In an age of performance and spectacle, Comrade Andile chose substance. We celebrate today his discipline. When shortcuts were the most attractive route, he chose the long way, the one that builds institutions rather than headlines. We celebrate his compassion. He was unashamed to be moved by people's stories and unafraid to act when action was required. We also honor the fullness of his roles: husband, father, son, brother, comrade, colleague. These identities wove together to form a life that was rich in responsibility and relationship. To his family we say, your grief is ours. We hope you will find comfort in the knowledge that the people he served hold you in their prayers and esteem. The love you gave him helped form the life he gave to others. The strength you lent him became strength for many. To the Mngwevu and Kanye family, may you be comforted by the knowledge that your beloved's life touched multitudes, and that the city he served speaks of him with respect. May you find strength in the love that surrounds you today, and in the legacy of care and commitment he leaves behind. To his comrades and colleagues, may his discipline be the standard we keep and the mirror in which we measure our own service. In every project we complete, in every meeting we conduct with integrity, in every budget line that turns into a working bus route or a safer intersection, we will hear his insistence that delivery is dignity. Hamba kakuhle, comrade Andile, uqatso ulufezile, lala ngoxolo duna. You ran your race with honor. May your soul rest in peace, and may your example continue to light the path of service for all who follow. Amandla! Matla! Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. Yawabona mapon. Let us prepare ourselves for the handing over of the flag, comrades. Wetambo chela bazale kaya, awe bazalis, awe oliva mtala chela bazale kaya, awe. African child, awe bazali sinasieza tambo speti African child, awe bazalis. Can we please keep silent, comrades, whilst the flag ceremony is taking place? If we can stand up on our feet. The token is now being handed over to the Secretary General, who is now on his way to hand over to the family. The Secretary General is handing over the token of the African National Congress to the Mngwevu family. We may now take our seats, comrades. As I'm about to hand over the program back to the Speaker of Council, Amandla, awethu, high discipline, high moral. Comrades, as I'm about to hand the program back to the Speaker of Council, today is particularly difficult for us because we are burying someone who is in our generation. We were meant to lead the ANC together as we did the ANC Youth League. Not long ago, we laid Comrade Small to rest, who's also our generation. Today, Comrade Andile, it is you. People of our generation who are gone too soon. You joined COSAS as a boy. Today you leave this world a man who is loved and cherished by his comrades and by his community. Comrade Andile, you spoke with fire. You stood with principle. And you moved with the certainty of which one knew which side of history you belonged to. Too young to be taken, yet powerful enough to leave a mark. You reminded us that the fiercest blows against injustice often come to those who least expect it. Your spirit was explosive, igniting hope, challenging complacency, and daring us to continue the struggle that you so fully embraced. Ulale ngoxolo mfowethu, sobonana kwelizayo.